Welcome back. If you were listening in the first half of the show, you heard Lisa McCready talk about the Head Start program. But one of the things that she said was the importance of making sure that those families that are part of the program have healthy food and options for them to make sure they're feeding those kiddos correctly. Well, the Nashville Food Project certainly has lots of programs and opportunities in place for families in Nashville and Middle Tennessee to make sure that there are some healthy food options. Joining us today is Toulouse Schuyler Quinn and Kia Brown, both with Nashville Food Project. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
So let's talk about the history. I know you've been around for a little longer than you have, since June for you, Kia. So welcome to the Food Project in this area. Thank you. Sure. But let's give us some history of the Food Project and how this all came about.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. The Nashville Food Project is about to celebrate its 4th birthday, although we have been doing this work in Nashville for longer than that, since 2007. It began a small group of people. Like most good ideas start with a small group of people. Were interested in purchasing a food truck and sharing food from this food truck in homeless camps. When Nashville used to have a tent city, the food truck would go there. They brought me on 6 years ago, and we started making incremental changes, changing the types of food, making it healthier food that we were sharing in low-income neighborhoods. I think we really began as a handout, as a way to meet immediate needs of hunger in poor communities. But I'm proud to say that as we've gone on and evolved and transitioned, we're really looking at the big problem of hunger and the even bigger, more complex problems of poverty, and trying to use food as a tool to address poverty and hunger in lots of ways. So 4 years ago, we established the Nashville Food Project as a local independent entity with the mission to grow, cook, and share healthy food with several goals: lifting lives in all that we do, alleviating hunger, and cultivating community, building community, improving community, using food to do that. And food is the ages-old tool to do that. I mean, it's not like we made that up. But
and the state of hunger in our area, is it getting better? Is it getting worse, in your opinion?
Yeah, people ask me that a lot, and it's really hard, I think, to separate hunger from poverty. Hunger is a symptom, one of many symptoms of poverty. So I think, as we know, Nashville is not an exception to the general national statistic that, for the most part, poor people are getting poorer and rich people are getting richer. So unfortunately, I do think that we still see tremendous hunger in our community. There's a national statistic: 1 in 6 people lacks access to enough healthy food to constitute a healthy lifestyle. And when you look at that number as it pertains to children, it's 1 in 4 children. And Davidson County, unfortunately, is no exception. So we're trying to do what we can to close the hunger gap. There's another national statistic that is as appalling, the fact that so many people lack access to healthy food, and that's that over 40% of all food is wasted. And so 40% of all the food we have in the United States ends up in the landfill. And so the Food Project, we have a huge initiative to recover food, and we're not the only ones in the city, but we recover food actively from farms, farmers markets, CSAs. Whole Foods is a great partner. Chipotle Mexican Grill is a great partner. So we are really trying to divert some of that food that would be wasted in the waste stream and bring it back to our kitchens and use it in our meals.
Because that food, and I don't want to say we're dumpster diving, right? But that food is not old. It's just very ripe, right? But still usable.
That's right. The food is not old. I used to work at a grocery store, and we were to spoil foods, like all of the meats, for example, were pulled off the grocery shelves 2 days before its sell-by date. And as most of us know, sell-by date doesn't even mean that it's spoiled yet.
That's right.
But I think we consumers are used to just the abundance that grocery stores provide, and so we don't want to buy a package of meat on its sell-by date. So that food, unfortunately, when I was working at the grocery store, went right into the dumpster that night. We don't dumpster dive.
Not even a reduced price for it, but into the dumpster.
Just pulled.
Wow.
and that's just part of the way that the economy of those grocery stores work.
Right.
We do have partners like Whole Foods, just not to be too much of a commercial, but you know, that instead of operating that way, pull the food off of their shelves and save it for us. And so, for example, Tuesday mornings, we have a team of volunteers that go to the Green Hills location, and they get fruits and breads and baked goods and all kinds of things that we use in our hot healthy meal program. The fruit is a great addition because fruit is very expensive.
Yep.
And we use fruits that, you know, let's say a new shipment of cherries comes in, so they pull the old shipment, the shipment of cherries. I mean, the cherries are great, in perfectly good condition, but we have a commercial dehydrator, and we dehydrate all this fruit and use it in our granola bars and our granola, and we're very creative in our kitchen with how we can make use of this recovered food.
You started out, you talked about together you're growing, cooking, and sharing nourishing food. The growing part is where you come in, Kia.
Yes.
So you are responsible for the gardens. Talk a little bit about that program.
So in our garden program, we basically, one of the things that we try to do, like in our mission statement, is to cultivate community. And so not only do we try to grow our food in these gardens, so it's different vegetables that we use in our kitchens, but we also encourage other people to come and grow in our gardens. And so we have great community garden programs that we try to help and facilitate. So at our Wedgwood location, we have a neighborhood garden, but then we've also expanded and opened up to about 25 different refugee families from Bhutan. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, 25 different families and refugees from Bhutan. And so another one of the community gardens that we do help out is we partner with the Magruder Family Resource Center in North Nashville. And so we have about 20 different families and individuals that come and garden there. And so we really try to lay the groundwork for these gardeners to learn and to feel confident in their gardening skills. So we provide the seeds, the tools, and also the lessons. So we teach them when to plant, when to harvest, how to harvest, what to do about certain pests. And so it's just a really great program to teach people where their food comes from. Right. And they get such a sense of accomplishment. Like, I started this from a seed, and now it's grown up into something that I can eat. And it's just been, I've had a lot of stories, like even in the small time that I've been working at the Food Project, a lot of stories of people telling me like how growing their own vegetables has changed their the way that they eat and the way that their families view food, and how they're more inclined to buy healthy food, and how it's opened up the door to like more organic options and just different ways that they're changing their lives. Like now they're maybe exercising a little bit more and stuff like that. So it's really a great way for our community gardens not only to nourish the Food Project, but also to nourish the different communities in which we work with.
So families, and we're showing some pictures there of some from the community garden. Oh, maybe this is, what is this here?
That's our kitchen.
That's from your kitchen there, yes. So the families can come and they can borrow a bit of land, I guess I'm going to say, because they're not paying for the area, or are they? So they're borrowing a little bit of the garden, the area.
They are. In our Wedgwood garden, there is a little fee just for like seeds and tools.
Makes
and just
sense.
also,
Yeah.
It also helps keep people interested,
Right.
like since they
Makes them
paid
commit.
Right,
That's right.
right.
So they've got to come back, and then you show them how to do what they need to do to grow certain vegetables and fruit and whatever they're growing in their little plot of land, and then they work it and farm it, and then some of them goes to the kitchen, or do they get to keep all of that as a family?
No, they get to keep everything that they grow, because we've set aside this small little plot for them. So everything that they get to grow, they get to keep. And
Fantastic.
so we have organized our garden space so that we are able to grow what we need to grow for our kitchens. But we really wanted to make it just a nice come together. So it's like not us just taking from this neighborhood, but us working with this neighborhood.
That's fantastic. You've got the Wedgwood Urban Garden, the Woodmont Garden. How many families are you servicing there?
In our neighborhood garden, we only have community plots in our Wedgwood Urban Garden.
Okay.
And so we have about 15 different plots.
Wow.
So,
Wonderful work. Is this your vision from the beginning? Because you've been there from the beginning, to see these beautiful gardens around our town. I think about the president, Mrs. Obama, right?
She's amazing.
Who has also talked about the importance of families being able to grow that food.
Yeah, I think it's really empowering. It's been the vision of lots of really devoted people. I remember starting our first garden at Woodmont Christian Church, who houses us for free.
And we've got about 10 more seconds. I'm sorry
no
about
problem.
that. Let's just tell people how to get in touch.
Yeah, the Nashville Food Project.org sends you to everything. Volunteer opportunities, at food donations. Please come get involved.
And thank you so much. We'll see you again next time.
Oh, that was so much.